But Britain's pre-grouping railways locomotives of the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway from 1839 to 1903, edited by John Christopher. (1903) Introduction. So far back as the year 1825, an association was formed in London called the Surrey, Sussex, Hants, Wilts and Somerset Railroad Company, the object of which was to construct a line from London to Brighton, then thence to Shoreham, Portsmouth and Southampton, and again to Westminster and the Bristol coalfields through Salisbury, the capital of the proposed company being £1,400,000. Nothing more, however, was heard of this high-sounding undertaking, but others soon followed. Whereas the making a railway commencing at or near Croydon, in the country of Sussex, Andrew, and terminating by a junction with the London and Greenwich Railway at or near Corbett's Lane in the parish of St. Mary's, Rotherham, would be of great public advantage by opening an additional certain and expeditious communication between the metropolis and the town of Croydon and the several intermediate and adjacent places, and also as a mean of facilitating the ultimate establishment of railway communication between London and the southern district of England, etc. Such are the words which open the preamble of an act for making a railway from Croydon to join the London and Greenwich Railway near London. This preamble laid the seed from which garmented the whole network of railways now forming part of or connected with the system worked by the London, Brighton South Coast Railway. The course of the line was indicated as starting on the western side of the high road from London to Croydon, near the 9th milestone from London, in the parish of Croydon, and passing from, through, or into the several parish of Beddington, Streatham, Battersea, Lemeth, Cambridge, Deptford, Rothermouth, Beckenham, Sydenham, and Lewisham, and terminating by the aforesaid junction with the London and Greenwich Railway at or near Colbert's Lane. This pioneer work was duly opened on the 5th of June 1839. There is a general idea that the line from London to Brighton originally commenced near where Norwood Junction now is. This is quite correct, but running powers to and from London were always part of the plan, and it is certain that this point was never the Metropolitan's terminus for trains coming from Brighton. One of the conditions under which the London and Croydon Railway was sanctioned was that the company should buy up the site of the unprofitable Croydon Canal, dug in the clay and gravel soil through which the line passes from New Cross to Forest Hill. Between these stations, there were some 25 locks. This difference in level accounts for the somewhat heavy bank on the railway of 1 in 100, known as the New Cross Bank. The length of this incline is 2 miles and 58 trains. West Croydon Station now actually stands on the original site of the basin of the old Croydon Canal, and portions of the old canal and towing paths are still visible at Arnley and in the neighborhood. Although by the junction at Corbett Lane, which was then the northern extremity of the LCR, passengers would have been able to continue the journey to a point near London Bridge. The directors thought there should be a separate and distinct metropolitan terminus further line, and accordingly, an Act of Parliament was passed in the session of 1836, enabling them to secure a site in the parish of St. Olum in the boroughs of South Warwick for the construction of a station, yard, warehouses, and other conveniences, the initial cost of which was estimated at £100,000. About this time, the spirit of railway enterprise being very active in regards to the south of England, chiefly in consequence of the need of better travelling facilities between London and Brighton, a fierce parliamentary campaign arose over various projected schemes. The session of 1836 will long be memorable for the battle waged. 6 schemes were promoted, the Brighton folks at first favoring one of the western lines, but ultimately adopting... Hi, Robert. Welcome back, Robert. 6 schemes were promoted, but at first favoring one of the western lines, but ultimately adopting what was known as Runnymede or the direct line. Proposed by the 6 engineers were as follows. Give me one. We have the Stephenson line, which goes via Eastbourne, Leatherhead, Dorking, Horsham, and Shoreham. Rennie's line via Stream. Sure, go right ahead, Robert. Line which go with via Stream, Croydon, Mercium, Red Hill, Horley, Buckhamy, Cluckfield. That's Chuckfield, Creighton, and Patcham. Cheese. Okay. Why you cheese, Robert? And then you got the Cunnies line via Mitcham, East Epom, Leatherhead, Brighton. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Horsham, Grimstead, Beating, and Shoreham. Gibbs line via Trojan, Ewell, Leatherhead, Dorking, West Grimsby, Justine, Bremer, and Shoreham. No. I think I'm circle. Maybe not, Robert. Hi, pause. Yeah. Because I understand. Trust me, pause. You'll understand why I asked for you. Then you have Palmer's line via Croydon, Godstone, and Cluckfield, and by Virginals line, which via Croydon, Mersham, Horsham, West Greenstead, Hensfield, Steying, Brammer, and Shoreham. Except Stevenson's and Cody lines, all of them were intended to pass through Croydon. None of the engineers adopted the same terminus. Stevenson proposed to use the London and Southampton Railway, now the London and Southwestern, from Wimbledon to its Nine Elms terminus near Vauxhall Bridge. Rennie's lines ended at Kennington Common or the Oval. Now the land comment or the Cundies at St. George Fields and Gibbs at London Bridge and Vauxhall. Vaginals at the Elephant and Castle, Palmer's at London Bridge. The Brighton terminal proposed had 6 different positions. The length of the proposed lines varied from a maximum of 54 miles in the case of Cundies to a minimum of 47. Oh, I'm sorry. Pause. I just figured maybe you want. I'm sorry. Pause. I just figured maybe you also wanted to just pop into one of my live streams too, just to see what I do on YouTube. Just figured I try to break up your boredom a little bit. Pause. I'm sorry. Okay, you got a point there. Pause. To in that of any, the estimated cost varied from £1,200,000 in Vaginal's project to £800,000 and those of Stevenson and Gibbs, while the time to be occupied in constructing the line was placed by Stevenson at 2.5 years, Renanine 3 to 4, and Cundies at 2 years. The amount of excavation and tunneling required by the schemes were regarded with apprehension, almost amounting to dismay, although of course the construction of any of them would now be regarded as an easy achievement. Well, yeah, because in 1836 you only had shovels. Nowadays you have digging machines. The company to whom powers of construction were finally conceded was compelled to buy up the old Mersham tramway, which ran for a long distance parallel to the existing railway and close to the Brighton Road outside Croydon. The site of the old tramway is still plainly discernible to travelers in the Brighton trains on the upside near Purley Oaks. This tramway, whose full style and title was the Croydon, Marksdeham, and Godstone Iron Railway, was one of the first of its kind. By the way, pause. How am I doing with British terminology as I'm reading this? Feel free to give commentary, because I think I might have botched some of these. So I apologize. It ran from Croydon to Merstham chalk pits and was joined at Croydon by the Surrey Iron Railway. A similar line starting from Wandsworth. Oh, Wandsworth, not Willsworth. They were worked only by horsepower. The rails or tram plates were laid on small stone sleepers. Extensive remains of the first named line may still be found by the Brighton roadside parallel to Merstham Tunnel. It was opened for traffic on the 24th of July, 1805. Part of the site was used for the new line. At the time when the proposed railway to Brighton was occupying the attention of parliamentary committees, there were 36 coaches running between London and Brighton. These were collectively licensed to carry 3,453 passengers per week, and their actual weekly average in the year 1835 was 2,263, for a total of 1,117,676 per annum. The average fare paid by each passenger was 21s for inside and 12s for outside seats. The average time occupied on the journey was 6 hours. 2 mail coaches ran daily, included in the 36 already. Hold on one second, folks. So sorry about that, folks. Where was I? Included in the 30. Thank you, pause. Yeah. Hey, so you can actually get to see. You actually get to see an appearance of me. um. Thank you, pause. You're not the first person to think that. 2 male coaches ran daily, included in the 36 already named, carrying 9 passengers on each journey. However, at first, the House of Lords rejected the bill in 1837, owing to the Southeastern Railway having previously obtained an act to construct a line to Dover via Renegade Junction or Redstone Hill, now Red Hill. The Lords adduced as a reason that the Southeastern Railway already went 20 miles of the way to Brighton and had been obliged to use this route. For when in 1836 an application was made for a line from London, the promoters of the company were entirely nonplussed by the action of the Speaker of the House of Commons, who remarked, quote, that no second outlet for a railway would be allowed to the south. In 1837, Captain R. Alderson, R.E., being deputed by a parliamentary committee to decide which was the best of the 4 schemes, then contending for an act, reported on 27th June in favor of Runnymede as being the shortest route and given the most convenient terminus at Brighton. The bill for this received the royal assent on the 15th of July. The termination of this parliamentary struggle was that the Brighton Company was forced to make a line from Norwood near the present junction to Brighton through Red Hill and to sell, transfer, or relinquish one half of the line, as shall be at or to the northward of the point at which the junction of the said Southeastern Railway with the said London and Brighton Railway shall be authorized, so that they may henceforth form a part of the SCR, and not of said London Brighton Railway. The consideration for this transfer was ultimately the repayment by the SCR to Brighton Company for all money, costs, and expenses connected with the works, together with the interest of £5 per cent per annum, making a total of £340,000. Yes, I did. Yes, I did pause. I did. Oops, the way I want it. The consideration, making this jointly worked line is 12 miles and 5 chains in length. So much for the circumstances leading to the Southeastern Company's presence at Red Hill. Owing to the constant delays that occurred at Red Hill Junction from the two lines uniting at that point, the Brighton Company have now constructed a new line between South Croydon and Earlswood. This new route relieves them from the hindrance to traffic caused by running over the same rails as the Southeastern Railway trains, but it involves the reconstruction and rearrangement of East Croydon Station and the widening of the line from that station to South Croydon. The line begins at South Croydon and runs as a widening parallel to the existing main line on the west side to near Colston. Its length is 3 miles, 5 furlongs, and 110 yards. Boy, weren't they really coming up with measurements here, folks. It proceeded from Stoat's Nest southwards on the western side of the existing lines in order to avoid interference with the Colston station of the Southeastern Railway. Diverges near it and is carried in a covered way and across 2 heavy bridges over the Brighton main public road. It then crosses the jointly used SCR and Brighton lines by a long bridge to the eastern side, passes through a deep chalk cutting and the long tunnel through Lord Henry's property, crosses Holmesdale Valley and goes under the Tudden Bridge line by tunnel and covered way to a junction with the Brighton main line between Red Hill and Earlwood stations. Is everything okay, Robert? Longer, namely 6 miles, 5 furlongs, making a total of 10 miles, 2 furlongs, and 110 yards. Let us now return to the formation of the old line. The line from London Bridge to Corbett's Lane Junction was the property of the London and Greenwich Railway, and from Corbett's Lane Junction to a little beyond Northwood Junction, formerly called the Jolly Sailor Station, was the property of the LCR. To both of these companies, the Brighton Company had to pay a toll of 3d for each passenger carried over their lines. In 1842, the line was widened from Corbett Lane Junction to London, and consequences of the great increase of traffic due to the line being used by each of these companies. On the jointly used line, the trains belonging to Brighton Company stopped at the stations on the northern half, and those of the SCR at the stations on the southern half of the line. But Purley, formerly Caterham Junction, although on the Brighton Railway Company's portion, is used by the trains of both companies. It was originated as an exchange station for the Caterham Valley branch, belonging to an independent company, but an arrangement was contracted between the two companies for the joint use of the station. The original gauge of the Brighton line was 4 feet inches and 9 inches, the usual gauge width 1/2 inch wide. In the year 1845, the Croydon Company laid as an addition a single line of Adistrophic Railway, a short description of which may be interesting. Which you can all read about that at some point. Um, uh, it is a remarkable fact that at the end of 1869, this comparatively small company possessed no less than 72 different types of locomotives. The number of engines it owned at that date was 233, and if to these were added those previously sold or broken up, the total number of engines built or purchased to that date would have exceeded 270, representing the work of no less than 20 different firms. Perhaps it is stranger still that J.C. Craven, who was a locomotive superintendent from 1847 to 1870, should have constructed so many different classes under his own supervision. No more than 12 engines of the same class being built to one set of drawings, and this being only in one case. Nice! Nice pause. I'm very happy for you. In the early days, however, it must have remembered that private firms should only supply locomotives to their own standard design, a fact which to a large extent account for such variable types. And my mouth is so dry. So we are going to switch things up. Why? Why are you jealous, Pause? Why is it because Willie never came to see you? Hmm? Boop. Um, I know I have the purple one around here somewhere. There you go. Pause. Mm-hmm. Mm. And there he is sitting back there. No, pause. Just that one. Just that one. I know, pause. I got a little fix on my head. Yeah, I put them on my head. Oh, yeah. Oh. There we go. Yes, Robert, I have a protogen. What color? Robert, what color? Where's the camera? Yep, sorry. I yeah. I kinda got four, Robert. I got a green, a blue, a purple, and an orange. Where's the camera? Here we go. We Yeah, I got four. You can you can ask to get a new profile picture, Robert. Like an artist probably could be able to draw you one. Or you can ask. I don't see what the issue would be. I could probably draw you a protogen. Like, do you want it just with it, like, um, not that I'm trying to steal somebody else's, but do you want something like where it's like, do you want it where it's just the head? Or do you want it where, do you want it where it's like the head? Or do you want it where you're drawing, like, where you want it drawn? Like, full out drawn body of it. Okay, pause. I'll talk to you in Discord. I know it's AI, but just so I can get, just so it's an like an almost like an idea. Oh God! I'm glad I am typing. Uh, kinda, Robert. If you want. I kind of have Google Chat. Do you have like Telegram or Discord? So you don't have Discord or Telegram? Okay. Yeah, I said Telegram. Either Discord or Telegram. I think that's going to do it for me for today. Thank you all for watching, and I catch you all in another live stream. Take care, folks.